Live in the studios here, the program's Viewpoint. Our guest this morning is Mr. Jacob Sexton, the Community Action Partnership. We have a Walter Winchell bulletin flash. Tickets are still available for the Lincoln Raider Sexton basketball game. We play Glenwood, of course, at Mount Zion. They've moved that to tomorrow night, Thursday night. Cost is really cheap, $5 a ticket. They are currently available, and not many, at the main office at Lincoln Community High School. Information, call Mrs. Pat Zerkheimer at 732-4131. There aren't many tickets, but I'd urge anybody who has the time to get over there and support these Railers. We're having a whale of a year. Now, Judith Kay, go right ahead with our guest this morning.
I definitely want to get into public transportation. We're going to have to talk fast.
Okay,
But
I can do that.
we have a bulletin about your food pantry. You want to get into that, Jake, please?
Well, I know today our facilities manager and our CSBG and communications director are on their way up to Bloomington to the Midwest Food Pantry up there to receive pallets of food, and so we will be stocking our shelves this afternoon. A lot of people don't know that we have a food pantry available, so please, if you are in need of some nutrition, some food, or just even if it's just a loaf of bread to get you through the week, stop by. We will help you out.
Now, what kind of documentation do you require?
They have to go in, they have to document, they have to prove that they haven't been there for at least, I want to say, 60 days. 45 days. And, if can't keep coming in week after week, But we give them enough food to, it's not just a small little bag. I mean,
you don't have to verify income or anything like that?
They do, but, our philosophy is, for the most part, that if someone's coming in and asking for help, chances are that they probably need it.
Okay.
And do we have to verify income? Yes.
Okay.
But don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Everybody at our agency is there to help. And if you need some help putting some food on the table, we will do that.
Well, what's more basic need than that? You know?
Food and clothing. I mean, coats for children. We have plenty of coats for children in Logan counties that we can offer out. The services like that some people think that we don't do just because we run a public trans program, or we have a weatherization program. We also have coats, and it's cold.
You darn right it's cold, and we think in March we're hitting spring, but it's not until the 20th that we do that. So.
Jake,
so if you have some young kids, come need coats.
These things are available at the office.
Absolutely.
And, of course, at the office is not right downtown on the square in Lincoln.
No.
So I think we probably should need to address that issue, too.
Okay.
As to go right ahead, please, Mr. Sexton.
Yeah, it's on 1800 5th Street. So if you know where the bowling alley's at, it's catty corner. There's a little illuminating sign that stands right there, right before the railroad tracks, like if you're heading out to the Elks.
Next to the Hayes house.
Passing the bowling alley.
Uh-huh.
And sits right behind the Best Western there, so...
Right.
Nice little office.
Let's get into your public transportation.
Sure.
You have a new spin on it, and there is a transportation service that you've had for quite some time, I know, because Buzz used that for trips to dialysis 3 times a week.
Well, we still offer those. Angie Jenkins is our program director, and she has just done a bang-up job. I've been off the ground and running for about 6-7 months right now. Serviced almost 13,000 riders. It is a wonderful program. It's only in Logan and Mason County, and we couldn't do it. I'll do a little plug here for the Logan County officials there. We couldn't do this without the approval of the county. They're the pass-through. So the grant required that the county be on board with this transportation program, and thankfully they saw that we have this need in our area for public transportation. It's growing and growing. We transport those who need to get dialysis appointments, that need to get to a doctor appointment, need to go visit a sick friend. We do all that.
Really?
What do you do if someone's doctor appointment is in Springfield, for instance?
Give us a call. We'll get you there.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, and there is, for those that are 60 and under, There is a fare. We do have a fare,
fair
and
enough.
that's that's online, and you get all when you call in the number. I'll give the number here in a second, but you call in, and for 60 and older, it's just a suggested donation.
648-5510. Somebody might have a question for Mr. Jacob Sexton, the Community Action Partnership. Frankly, Judith Kay, I didn't realize the depth, scope of the services that the folks afford out there to the community. With regard to transportation, whence cometh your drivers? Are these volunteer folks?
No, they're paid.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, and so that's
Where do I
built
get
into the grant. We're always high. We're growing, Bill. So if you want to, get out there. I think the clients would really enjoy it.
Well, I can assure you they would. Now, you prefer that, for instance, I would call today and say that I have an appointment Monday, for instance.
Ideally, yes, because it allows us. We are growing, so we really like to make sure that we don't overbook, and we want to service everybody appropriately and in a timely manner. And so by making sure that we schedule everything out, we request 24 hours ahead of time. Obviously, if it's an emergency, we'll rearrange some stuff and we'll get you where you need to be.
And the number, you said you were going to get the number.
Yeah, I had Angie Jenkins wrote this all down. She gave me some talking points here, so I have to
Well,
give her
you
a
go ahead and
shine.
talk, by George.
All right. The local number is 217-732-1056, and the toll-free number is 866-903-8212. And so when you call, you'll have to give your basic information, so that way we can make sure all your needs are met, where you're going, do you need wheelchair assistance? We have those built into our vehicles. How long is the trip going to be? Where's the trip going to be?
How are you going to get back home? Yeah, how
So-
do you do that?
Get them back.
Yeah, but sometimes they might be going to Springfield to stay with their niece for a week. So then do they tell you now, come next Wednesday on the 13th,
yeah.
would you come and get me again?
Sure. Yeah. It's just, let's say you have a sick friend that you need to go visit, or just, like you said, a niece you want to go visit. You call 24 hours ahead of time, and we'll get you where you need to be. We're not going up to Chicago or anything like that. We're not doing shopping trips. But,
Well, yeah.
But we'll help you out. And if 3 days from now we need some assistance, you need a ride, just let us know. Well, Angie and her staff will put it in the calendar, and we'll have that set up for you.
Jacob, is there a trend on your caseload, your workloads, in the winter? I suppose things spike up a little bit because of the heating needs and so forth. Tell me, is there? How does that work for the overall purview of things for the seasons?
It definitely fluctuates as far as the winter goes. Sometimes, especially if you have people that do seasonal employment, that do those jobs in the spring, summer, and fall, but are laid off in the winter. And then that is where the time that they need some assistance, especially with rising costs, they could come in and see us. So there's some unexpected cost that people aren't prepared for that could come in and ask for our help. Sometimes the boat gets too high. People come in and ask for our help. In the summer, we have a cooling program because it's not just the winter. If you guys remember, this past summer was pretty hot. So we have a cooling program that the monies will come down, and we will be able to assist those. And again, people have to schedule those appointments out. You can't. You can walk in, but it's a very busy and active program.
This public transportation program has to be busy and active as well.
Oh, yeah.
And also expensive, because you have to have all the vans and you have to pay all the people that drive them.
All that stuff is built into the grant. And so when we write the grant, we have to specifically state what money goes where. So it's just not this lump sum of money. and saying, well, here, spread it out however you want. So we have to say X amount of dollars go to, program support, which would include the riders. X amount of dollars go to vehicle maintenance, this, that, and the other thing. So, and like I said before, it has to go down to the penny. It is expensive. We are seeing that, good things will come of the program, because it's not specifically targeted for low income. It's anybody can call. We'll take anybody. Your college kid need to get to the train station, give us a call. We'll take you there.
Really?
Yeah. It's not. This program, public transportation, is exactly what it says. Public. We will service anybody.
What
No.
do the people think of it who own cab companies?
Well, I don't know. I haven't talked to them.
Probably just as well.
Well,
They haven't called us either. So
in a way, this is a presumption, but in a way, it's a little bit different in that most of those folks who will call the Economic Development Partnership, they're not going to be able to come up with cab fare. Is that fairly
well, we do
accurate?
require. Well, if you're 60 and older, it's a suggested donation. If it's 60 and below, there is a fee. Our fees are pretty low, and that's not so we can undercut cab companies. It's because
No, that's not
we're a
your
community.
purpose.
Right, exactly. I mean, so I think the competition is good, but I think we're servicing two different arenas.
Yes, that's what I was trying to
we
get to.
operate during business hours. We're Monday through Friday, business hours. And so the cab companies that are operating on the weekends, we're not competing with them, or they're not competing with us. And then also because, we might have someone that's running to a dialysis appointment, we need to, the vehicles that we use are capable of transporting them versus a cab. And so the cab companies that are within the community, I'm sure, do a wonderful job with their clients and their patrons that come in. But I think we're kind of servicing two different areas. We don't have any cars. We're all vans.
Now, you don't do, quote, grocery runs, do you?
No, not particularly.
I can't imagine
It's-
how that would work. That's the reason I asked that question.
No, I'm sure if it was an extenuating circumstance, and someone called and needed some help, we would figure out a way to make that happen.
But folks shouldn't call to expect to transportation down to IGA, for instance.
Probably not, especially if they need it right away, because like I was saying to Judy, is that
Sure.
we request that it's a 24 hours. So if you
Incidentally,
need
those
food
folks
right
will-
away,
Those folks will deliver, by the way. Another community service they offer.
yeah.
Your Head Start program, that's I don't know, kind of like a flagship thing almost, in that it's been an ongoing thing for eons. Is it a year-round program or a
Yes.
school year program?
Well, the grant goes through a year, and Beth Fleshman, who runs our Head Start program across the 6 counties, just does an impeccable job, and those teachers are just absolutely outstanding. And I would hold our Head Start program, and granted we're all on level playing field here, I would put ours up against anybody else's, because it's just spectacular. And going in and seeing those children interact and learn, because it's not just about science and math and all the other textbook subjects. It's about cultural and social cues that a lot of these children need to learn. And you probably, I find myself saying this sometimes, well, it wasn't like that when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Well, we teach those kids, a lot of basic social cues, all the way down on how to eat a family dinner. Any meal that these kids have, when they come in for lunch, they have to sit at a table with the other children, and so it's broken up in a couple different tables. They have to engage in conversation, even if it's as simple as how's your day going. And so those are the cultural things that I think get lost when we talk about school. You know, those are some key ingredients that we need to implement from a societal standpoint. And, you know, if anybody ever wants to come in and see how these teachers just do a bang-up job, just give us a call and we'll come in there. We have people from the community that come in and read to the children all the time. They love it. And it's just a wonderful, wonderful program. Very proud of it.
Now, getting back to the transportation, you
Okay.
transport these youngsters, don't you?
That's not operated under our public transportation program, but yes, we do have bus service. Yep.
Yes, and they get a lunch, you said?
Yeah, they'll have lunch. They'll have we have breakfast meals in there and snack time, things like that.
You know,
That's-
Judy, that may be the most salient thing I've heard this morning, is that program which affects directly little folks.
Oh yeah.
And you're doing something that unfortunately doesn't take place in a lot of households today,
Absolutely.
sitting down at the table at the same time.
You're
You know, that's just a basic thing that we grew up with, you see.
It's wonderful.
And it's accepted as just normal. Well, unfortunately, in today's times, that's not normal.
Yeah.
And so you're doing an immeasurable service to these youngsters in putting them in those settings.
Yeah. I'm real proud of the job that Beth and her teachers have done there, and it's just really exciting to see these kids pick up on those things. Like I said, the textbook stuff is there. You know, the instructional part is there on learning, you know, the science and the English and how to structure these sentences. But if you're not practically implementing that into your daily life, it gets lost. And our Head Start instructors make sure that is being taught even at the dinner table.
What are the hours that the children attend?
Well, there's a couple. There's half day. You have 2 sessions. So you have the morning session and then the afternoon session. And some do. I'll have to double check with Beth, but I'm pretty sure some go to the morning session and then they'll go on to the afternoon, like preschool session at the school, things like that.
Mm-hmm. And how many children did you say that you served here in Logan County?
The last stat I looked at last week was, in Logan County?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm sorry. I want to
Give me the
say-
overall, if that's off the
Overall's
top of your head.
480. 480 across
That's a
all 6
lot of
counties.
children you're affecting.
That's a lot. You better believe it. It's a lot of little lives.
I had no cognizance of the scope of their activities in this area, and you cover a large,
Mhm.
you know, you've got a big job, mister, with the counties that you handle. We were sorry to lose you at Lincoln College.
No.
You have moved on to a different form in your helping people in your life, and obviously doing a great job out there. We appreciate very much your time this morning, Mr. Sexton. Our guest has been Jacob Sexton, the Executive Director of the partnership. Give me the full title.
It's a
on
long
that,
one.
Yeah. Give me the full title.
Yes, he is the executive director of the Community Action Partnership of Central Illinois.
Capsule.
Well, we thank you very much. We'll
Thanks,
try to
Bill.
close
Thanks, Judy.
with a quote that's somewhat connected, sometimes directly, and this time kind of a vicarious way, but we've talked about helping people this morning.
Okay.
And Mother Teresa, of course,
yeah.
was a great
She-
person for helping people.
She was pretty good.
And she says, in a quote that I found, "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless." Jake Sexton, thank you for being with us this
Thanks,
morning.
Bill. Thanks, Judy.
Thank you.